Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is Saturday. We are here for another session of A Song of Agapia's Fortune. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. I get to do the GM stuff, but I'm going to do all my spiel at the end. I feel we should go around and introduce the players and let them say who they're playing. Why don't we start? I'm going to just mix things up and be avant-garde. And we start with Hannah tonight. How we doing, Hannah? How's life for you today?
It's pretty good. Thanks for asking, Prax. I am Hannah, she, her, and in this game I'm playing Malik Imsali, he, him, who is one of two feuding bards in this particular story. I cannot wait.
And also, I believe you are part of hashtag Team Grumpy.
Yes, hashtag Team Grumpy, which, go us.
You went. I think that means I should jump to the other portion of Team Grumpy. Hey Pope, how are you?
Team Grumpy for life. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I work on all your streams, and today I'm back with the fantastic Agapia crew playing Bandabris. Both of us use he, him pronouns, and meat puzzles have been solved, sorceresses sent off, and now apparently we're getting dragged trying to save people.
Yeah, it's a thing. You gotta do it.
Ugh.
Yeah, you'll get paid for it?
I don't really need the money!
Eh. But speaking of people who maybe don't need the money as well, and I'm trying to figure out, is our not guard Thorn a member of Team Grumpy?
So far, he's a team runaway, right? Runaway and hide. I think I'm hashtag team runaway and hide. But I am Tall Squall he him playing Thorn he him, and yeah, I've spent the first 3 episodes bailing, bailing or hiding behind this guy's self. So we shall see how the next morning unfolds.
It will be a thing to find out. Then we should jump down over to the first member of Team. What is it? It's Grumpy and Team Happy. Is
Team Happy.
Is Team Happy?
Happier fun. No fun.
Team Fun? Are we going Happy Fun? Happy Fun Times?
I'm down
Team
with
Happy.
fun. I'm here for fun.
Are we
Team
Team
party
No
time,
Fun?
Fun.
We got Team Grumpy and Team Fun. Okay, we figured it out. PB, how we doing tonight? How you feeling?
I'm doing okay. A little under the weather, but that's not going to keep me away from this game. I'm playing Tibian Van Tunen today, a monk character who is part of Team Fun and is so ready to go out on an adventure and cannot wait to drag the rest of these sorry souls to it.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. But I guess the other portion is there are some people you don't have to drag, right? I mean, like, I don't think, Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're also part of Team Happy Fun Times?
Yes, absolutely.
So, how you doing? How's life going for you tonight?
Life is good. I'm excited to get back with this. Have everybody here and present. We'll be able to meet. I'll be able to meet Thorn. Thorn without non-guard Thorn. I'm so happy. But yes, I'm Lynn, Shive, and I am playing tonight Lady Fiorella Barrel Emperor, she, her, member of Team Fun, Glamour Bard, also the other half of the dueling bars that will probably make everyone else's life miserable.
Make their lives miserable or just be very entertaining? We should ask Chris, because Chris is definitely on Team Chill, right?
Oh, definitely. Javi is basically just like, I'm happy to be here, and very little gets my pulse up, so let's do the thing.
Let's indeed do the thing. There was a lot that was done last time. I mean, last night for you all was really long. There was a party, there was supposed to be a introduction of the crown prince before his coronation the next morning. There was singing and dancing and poker nights, and then 24 bone claws showed up, and there was lots of death and blood and artful evisceration.
I guess you could call it artful. It was patterns.
It was intentionally designed, I guess. We'll go with that. Then
Art's
there...
in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah, I didn't give you one of those. It's okay, I have an aversion to them.
Thank you.
There was an Imperial meat puzzle. And then there was the aftermath after you tried to figure out everything, where we discovered where you put the Imperial meat puzzle back together, and you did manage to revive the Crown Prince, which is a good thing. Makes you all look good, right? That you're on his positive list, and his brother is also happy because now he doesn't have to become the heir. And there's some people who just would not want to be rulers.
There's also some people that wouldn't want to be on the good side of those people, so I'm just saying.
Okay, well, there's that. And then there was a discovery of 21 missing clerics, or excuse me, divine casters. Wasn't quite specified whether they were all clerics, but there were divine casters. Thorn, as a guard, sneaking into the room where they were attempting to corral all of the visiting dignitaries and other members of the Imperial family to make sure that everyone was accounted for, the lockdown for all the dignitaries. And then I guess there was a moment where somebody, pointed out that there might have been a spell cast. I don't even know what you're talking about. And somebody decided to dispel it, which led to an altercation with a woman who, I guess, you don't even know what's going on, but you broke her spell, and which apparently her husband, Duke Kenneth Brandt, was under for almost a year. Then there was a game of keep away with a bunch of keys Thorn was playing. She got frustrated and upset and left, and
Which
there was
means he won.
Mm-hmm.
Thorn won.
Yes, Thorn did win. I don't know that he wanted to win, but he did.
Yay, I won D&D.
For now. So that's the thing about winning D&D. It's always temporary. But then you all had a conversation with the Crown Prince and his brother. Discussions about what had happened, decided to cast Remove Curse on Kenneth Brandt, which was a really good idea, by the way. Good call for your cleric. And the discussion was determined that you should all remain for the night. Oh, then, of course, the wonderful Tibian decided that this was the perfect moment, that she was going to have an adventure, and these were the perfect people to go on an adventure with. Because they're less likely to die around her, I guess? They seemed like good people, I guess, for her mind. She wanted to have a party, and she's going to drag everyone along with her, even Bandibus.
If you want to know the exact reasons, watch last time's VOD, because she breaks down why she wants everybody really well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was great. But that was last night. You had all been given rooms for the night, half as a courtesy to kind of say thank you for, helping less people die and reviving the Crown Prince, and half as maybe we should keep an eye on these individuals because, they're throwing around a lot of things, and one of them decided to impersonate a guard for a period of time. But he's okay. He got validated by, the cleric who saved the Crown Prince's life, so life is good. You weren't given extravagant rooms, except for Malik. You had a suite because, visiting visiting royal dignitary. Um, why don't we start with Theo? What are you doing this morning in these rooms, kind of like off slightly in one of the guest wings? All of you are in the same wing, except for Malik. Well, Malik's technically in the same wing, but just at the far end, closer to the main portion of the palace. The rest of you are kind of at the end. A lot easier to secure that way, right? So where do we find you this morning, Theo?
Theo is up early, put together, real easy. She looks great all the time. Just makes it knocks on Tipian's door.
Tivian, already awake and ready for the day. Open. Am I sharing a suite with? I totally remember their names. Totally remember their names. But for right now, we're just gonna say my two council members that came with me.
Two of the three? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've got Enoch and Henning.
Enoch and Henning.
Enoch Vanderhoek and Henning, and then Pilter Veltman is missing.
Yeah.
You could if you wished. They were the point is the palace gave you these rooms. If you wished to share with the other members of your delegation, they would not be a problem with it. You're all halflings. It's slightly easier to just, kind of give you all one slightly larger human-sized room, and then don't have to worry about it.
You don't misplace them as easily, except they still misplaced Pilter. So.
Yeah, honestly, and rude. I'll be in my own room. I just wanted to clarify. And so yeah, I opened the door, already awake and ready for the day. I see you, Theo. I'm like, hi. That's not her voice. Hello.
Oh, good morning. How's this one look? The bronze and the blue, a little more official for what we're gonna have to do today.
I back up a little bit and I give it a really critical eye.
Spin.
Fantastic. It looks great.
Thanks. I can always trust your opinion on this. God, it is so strange waking up this early. I was expecting, with the party going in yesterday, that I really would not getting up till 1 or 2, but here we are. So, how'd you want to go about this?
Well, first, I would like to have breakfast. I am very hungry. Still a little bit upset there was no kind of party last night. Everyone was too worried and concerned, and no fun at these places. 2, I would like to try and find, I think the hardest one to find is going to be that guard. I think he is going to be the one. They all, with all such a bulky armor, they kind of blend into one another.
I think that's the point. It's supposed to look interchangeable, so you don't get particularly used to one, or figure out one that needs to be bribed, or
I remember the face, kind of the build.
Oh, the one that ran. Yes, that one.
Yes, the one that was getting chased by the supposed Duchess.
I think our cleric friend and the gloomy one, I think, knew more.
Then maybe that is where we start. Let us find this. I think Javi was their name.
Oh, Bandbrush. Yes, sure.
Bandbrush. Well, let's start with the
he's a morning person, so he'll be up and cheery at this moment.
Oh, Bandbrush is probably out taking a walk. You know how they are. I'm probably. Let's go try and find this cleric. I'm sure he's also a morning person.
Just knock on some doors. Yeah, let's just knock on some doors.
Yeah.
I mean, we're two wonderful people. Who wouldn't love wake up call. From us, so
Exactly.
what's
And then they know us. We're friends.
yes.
And
Well,
I gone over and I'm knocking on a door.
Across the hall from Tibian was Bandbrus.
He's not in.
Where is Bandbrus?
He is in the kitchen, making porridge.
Of the palace.
Yes.
You might get into the kitchen. You're not making porridge. There is a curmudgeony dwarf who is looking at you, scandalized, A, that someone from upstairs is in their kitchen, and B, wants to actually cook. There's also a slight judgment of no one who lives upstairs knows how to cook.
I have lived on my own for quite some time. I know how to cook.
No, you know how to prepare. You're asking for things to make porridge. That's not cooking. That's preparing.
Porridge is food, nourishing and tasty, thank you.
It's to relieve constipation.
And peacock isn't tasty.
No, you don't eat peacock. You might have a peahen, but not a peacock.
Please explain that to the Eastern Dukes.
I did, and then I promptly explained why it wasn't going to show up on the table, and then when he made a fuss, I did what I wanted anyways, and he didn't know the difference.
Ah. Then may I procure some apples and be out of your hair?
We have an oatmeal, some cinnamon, some raisins, a little bit of granola. Here you go.
Thank you.
See, I told you he would be on the walk. He seems like the type that would wake up and get all cheaty with a walk. You're muted.
Or just go straight to the library. You know how they are.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Mm.
Okay. Then I go to the next door.
All right, next one.
That would be Javi, and then across from Javi would be Thorn. The question, though, is, are either of the gentlemen at home this morning?
Depends. What time is it when you're going around knocking on doors?
Oh, like 6.
So, like the twilight before dawn?
Yeah, you have to get your day started. I mean, we didn't have, we weren't hungover, so it
No, that makes total sense. However, because twilight is very sacred to the faithful of Vestru, Javi would have gone out before first light to the shrine, and back after doing his prayers. So once the sun, once dawn is fully broken, he would be coming probably back through the through the palace and into the hallway to return to his room. So depending on where you are in that time frame, you might catch him in the hall, but not in his room.
I like that. So right before I'm just like, oh, not another one that has gone already. And right before I go knock on Thorn's door, I think we see Javi walking in from down the hallway. And it's like, just the person I want to see. Hello, Javi.
Look,
Hi there.
all ready to go.
How may I be of service in some way?
Yes, absolutely. So we would like to figure out this mystery as to why all these people are missing, including someone dear to me also. So I am looking for people who are very capable and would be perfect for finding these missing peoples. And due to how you performed yesterday and all the amazing things you did, honestly, from the punching to the magic casting to the healing. I think you would be absolutely perfect for this.
Well, I had planned to investigate the disappearance of the divine. Anyway,
Perfect.
so I might
Perfect.
as well.
Amazing.
See, you know what?
I
I hope I hope everything is this easy. Of course it will
Same.
be.
Speaking of easy, do you know the guard who helped us last night?
Not personally, though, no. But we did get to exchange some philosophical bits of information, in which the conversation I plan on continuing mid-morning.
Perfect, because I think they would also be an amazing addition. They seem very brave, and they seem very capable of taking care of themselves and knowing their limits in the fight.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's also
Very
good to have
astute.
someone that can run almost as fast as you can.
Yes. I was about to knock on, I'm assuming their door. I think everyone I was thinking of is in this general area. Although some people are out this morning.
The guard that you speak of is quite enigmatic. I don't know if they're actually down this hallway or in the barracks. I mean,
Well, one way to find out. And I knock on the door.
You see this sort of 19-year-old kid, hair all messed up, basically just drug out of bed. Dad's not here. He already left.
I do an insight check on this young individual.
Mhm.
I have one rule for PvP. You can't use luck on each other.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's my one rule. And both of you have to be
Oof.
agreeing to it.
Yeah.
13.
Oh, can I make that as well?
Yeah. The two of you. I mean, Javi isn't. He's just standing around because he's already, I'm assuming, figured some things out.
he may have no clue as to who the kid is or what's going on there. That's calling out about this, but he knows that he will have an answer at some point today. So he's not concerned.
Theo knows.
That he's
Lying.
I mean, again, it's just some kid talking about his dad.
Theo knows that that this person is lying about something. Tibian doesn't.
No clue.
Oh shoot.
Interesting.
Theo, I think we'll give you like the really look, like looking at him, and then back at you. It's like,
Interesting. What is your name?
Okay, he wouldn't stop like this. My deception was better than that. I need to
Yes.
quote.
No.
Player is not as smart as my character is. Because I've got way too many names in this damn head of mine. Stand by.
Mm-hmm.
Stand by, loading.
Yeah. He goes, Raven. And you are?
My name is Tibian Ventuinen. It is a pleasure to meet you, Raven.
Nice to meet you too.
Who is your father?
He's in I gotta look at my NPCs. He's in Duke Corvu's entourage.
I have no idea who that is. Hold on.
Duke of the North.
oh no.
Oh, Duke of the North. I'll pretend I know who that is. Oh, interesting. I did not know a Duke was on this hallway.
Oh no, we're not. The Duke's not my dad. We're just his retainers.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, and you're not up yet. Oh, that's a shame.
Again, Dad, not me. I was the +1.
Oh, okay. Raven. So Raven.
Why are you knocking on doors?
I'm looking for a particular person. I'm looking for a. I'm sure you heard all about what happened last night, from your father, or maybe you saw it yourself. But there was an individual that we fought with, who was very brave, and I am looking to speak to them about a search party we're setting up.
Good luck
You
with
wouldn't
that.
You wouldn't happen to know this guard, would you?
They all look alike. You know, that armor kind of makes them all the same, so you don't know who to bribe or.
That's what I said. Okay, well, not the bribing part, but I did say the other part.
Oh, so yeah, not bribe. Ask for directions.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for your time. Have a good rest. I'm assuming you were still sleeping. Sorry for interrupting your sleep. And I take another critical look at you. I don't recall you, right? You didn't show up to the party as what you look like right now.
It's, you know, I basically sort of snuck in behind Theo's entrance, and then I was out on the balcony. So it depends on whether you ever went out to the balcony. I think you were at the poker table, and I was at the out in the balcony on the sort of the other end of the balcony. So I know you've got like insane perceptivity stuff, but
but that was like opposite side.
Yeah.
But like during the fight, you weren't really.
I was on the balcony and then jumped over the balustrade. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I just give you like a once over real quick. I'm like, okay. Well, I will leave you unless you have anything else to say. I'm looking at Theo and Javi.
Oh, no.
I see Javi standing out there with you, and my eyes probably linger too long on Javi.
I raise my eyebrows at Theo and I say, "Well, have a good rest of your morning,
Yes,
Raven.
have a good restful morning."
What were your names again?
Oh, Fiorella Barrel.
Oh, well, yeah, you're the famous one.
Oh,
Dress. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You made me
And
day.
and I am Tivian Van Tunen from Sakal.
Oh, nice.
I am Javier, priest of Vestru.
Ominous Domine stuff. Friends, last friends.
Yes. The last friend. May your slumber always be restful, but never unending.
He kind of looks at that, trying to figure out if that was like a good, like a blessing or a curse, and then gets it. Oh, yeah. Great. Thanks.
I have a very important question before we let Javi and the other two leave Thorn. It's a very important question. I believe at this moment, Javi, you still have possession of the keys, or did Thorn keep possession of the keys?
No,
Javi
has possession.
Javi has the keys.
Oh, very good. Thorn, I need you to roll me a religion, please.
Oh, well. Well, then. Oh, wait, sorry. Wrong one. Religion. Sorry, I was rolling persuasion. 14.
Javi, your right hand is burning. Or, excuse me, not Javi. Thorn, your right hand is burning.
Interesting.
Not enough to cause actual damage, per se, but it's more than an annoyance.
I mean, he does his best to deception to hide it, or like a wisdom to hide it?
I would say wisdom save to hide it.
Okay.
Because this is about self-restraint, right? Well, or yeah.
Woo, look at me with a natty 1. Okay. Let the dice tell the story. I never reroll a natty 1.
So you see this momentary grimace go across this young gentleman's face, and he kind of like, I don't know, your response about how you deal with that, but it feels almost like you grabbed a hot pan and forgot to put the pot holder on.
Yeah. So I think it's probably more that release. It's more of like an opening of the hand. Probably doesn't go as far as shaking it off, but definitely his hand like opens. Just clarification. Was this the hand that I held the keys in?
Yep.
Okay.
And, you know, it might be a hand that has other things.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Are you all right? You look like you were in a bit of discomfort for a brief moment.
Bad drinks.
Little hungover.
A good breakfast will help fix that.
Yeah. I was hoping I could find some porridge.
I'm sure the kitchen has all things available. You probably just have to ask kindly.
I wouldn't ask for porridge. You can go to a tavern if that's what you want.
Like,
You're gonna have to
we're in
ask
the
for something a
castle.
little fancier, otherwise the cook will probably be insulted.
Palaces.
When in
They're
Yeah,
great,
for a-
aren't they?
Yeah, and for a hangover, you want something a little bit more substantial, anyways.
So, Tibian, right?
Yeah.
You're from Sakel.
I sure am.
You all, my little bit of dealings with halflings is you always know the best places to eat. So where are we getting breakfast? And he grabs a coat.
Have I heard good things about the food in the palace?
I mean, yes. You would have heard positive things. The head chef is a dwarf of some renown for the fact that he is a dwarf that can make a bunch of human nobles happy, and also keep dwarven nobles happy. A very
Do I know
fine
their
line
name?
to walk, you know.
Would one know their name?
Ooh, I would ask for a history for that.
Ooh.
Because
roll it.
of reason.
16.
With a 16, you would know that that he uses male pronouns, and he has given up his name and only answers to chef now. Other reasons there might be for that aren't known, but with a 16, you would know that it was a choice that he made, and that there are perhaps some important reasons why he doesn't give that name out anymore.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I hear, actually, that the chef here is a dwarf that makes not only the human nobles happy here, but also the dwarven ones. So he must be good. He must be good. And I'm looking forward to trying
I
their
heard
food out.
something about a tavern. Looking
that
to
could be
Javi.
later. Morning
there
is
are,
young.
There are a few in town.
Yeah, the morning is young, though. Let's get a good start. Oh, plus maybe you'll see your father there.
That's the most important part about if we're going to go to a tavern. You have to put stuff in your stomach before. You don't want.
Or you wake up with a hangover. See, maybe this is what you had to learn.
I can't not knock this out of the park. Yeah, that's for you old people. I don't need to do
Oh.
that.
I look at myself, I'm like, I barely look older than you.
And as if on cue, Roads go ever on and on.
He is back from his walk. Look, I told you, he went on a walk. Now he's even more cheery, singing even. I wait for you to get a little, probably like within 30 feet of us.
Morning.
Meeting.
Bandabras,
Just
my
the person,
friend.
just the person we're looking for.
Well, there goes the morning.
Come. We were talking.
About
Last night.
Well, if you come here, we can talk about it. I'm not going to yell like someone who doesn't know their manners.
Fair enough, I guess. Good morning, young man. I am sorry that these privileged individuals have decided to rope you into whatever this is.
I'm just in this for the breakfast. You have
Breakfast.
porridge. Do you still have your porridge with you?
A little bit left in a bowl that is mostly finished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been like all backed up. I kind of.
Well, there are the makings of back in the kitchen. The chef seems properly disagreeable but pleasant. But if you're looking for someplace perhaps outside the palace, there is a nice little place that is typically open at this time that I used to spend during my college years. That's run by a lovely half-elf. I would suggest going there. I believe it's the Yellow Dragon.
Interesting enough. Do they have good drinks?
It's summer, right? So the sours should be served along with the pear cider. Yes.
We're going to get along just fine.
I am going to I grab a hold of your wrist and I'd be like, all right, then let's get something to go from Chef, and then let's make our way to the Yellow Dragon.
Well, I hope you speak Dwarven, and
Oh yes.
you are you are more personable than I am. So we'll go and see what the individual has cooking.
I give you a quick squeeze. I'm like, it is okay. A rock is more personable than you.
I have known very pointy rocks that are less personable than myself. Thank you.
That is a decision to be made by the people who've met you, as opposed to you yourself.
I have spent a great deal of time with myself. I think I would know.
Yeah, I think if we're, I would, since we're having the entire group here, as much as I dislike having to bring this up, I think we're missing
How
someone.
about you all go ahead,
Oh,
and
no.
I will go and wake His Highness. You go ahead.
Nope.
No.
Still holding you.
No.
Nope. You are still being held by me. No.
What? But I am a fan
will all
of
find this-
Malik's work. We do not all need to go at the same time. That
Oh yes, we
is-
do. We absolutely do. Let's go.
No, that is a recipe for
Absolutely, we
disaster.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
No,
It
no, no,
sounds
no,
like
no.
fun.
Hurry.
It'll be fun.
Please don't. You are very strong.
Bio's gonna, I think, wander up ahead and just knock really loudly on Link's door.
What? Oh, pull the door shut as soon as he sees
Oh,
it's
good
Theo
morning.
standing up.
Oh.
Find somebody else. to
I'm
wake you.
very sorry. I tried to not have them all come at once.
I thought with the amount of rest you got last night, you'd be up and ready.
I'm up. Ready for what?
Just
Breakfast?
I'm
Breakfast,
like,
I thought.
hello. It is nice to see you again, Prince.
Where is breakfast?
That is where we're going. See, this all works out perfectly.
Yellow Dragon. They've got sours.
A tavern?
No,
Hmm?
first to go from Chef, and then to the tavern.
Okay.
You will
Bring your
not
breakfast.
disrespect Chef like that. Chef does this all the time. He's looking forward to it. Maybe not to you.
Never disrespect the people that prepare the food. Unspeakable things.
No, cooking is its own form of wizardry.
Exactly. It's like, let us go. From Chef, then to Yellow Dragon.
You think you can let go of my wrist now?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You can't move faster.
And off the Chef we go.
Chef is a, well, dwarf, male presenting. Distinctly interesting because he keeps his hair very short, and doesn't have a beard to speak of. Indeed, he dresses and appears to favor the fashions of the Vroom infantry. This could be a choice he made when he took this position, or it could just be a choice that he has made previously. You don't know. He is a little bit distinctive in the height department. He's perfectly average for a dwarf, which means he's just a couple inches taller than Tibian and about half a foot shorter than the rest of you. Or, well, a foot shorter than some of you. Or a couple feet shorter than some of you, I should say. He, looks young for a dwarf, but dwarves are, again, complicated aging. Like rocks, really. So, he...
Are they sharp and pointy and non-personable rocks, or more personable than Bandibris rocks?
See, look, I've always subscribed to the theory of, dwarves aging like rocks in the sense that they are sharper and pointier when they're younger, and then they get more worn down by erosion after time.
Oh, so more personable than Bandibris. Got it.
Yeah. Whereas Bandibris is the opposite.
Erosion has not been kind.
No, it's like when you hit rock with another rock and just sharp pieces come off. That's what happens.
That's fair. He looks up at the six of you invading his kitchen. An eyebrow is raised, and he pauses mid-cleaver strike. Then very intentionally puts it down across the board in front of him, turns and crosses his hand. How may I help you?
Hello, we are looking for some breakfast, but we are looking for a quick breakfast to go. We are to have a meeting here soon, and some of us are more impatient than the others. I apologize for this one that I'm holding on to right here. I do not trust that if I let him go, he will not go. Well, not running, but maybe walking a little bit quickly more away from us.
He thought porridge was an acceptable breakfast.
Oh,
It
that's...
is.
You have porridge?
No, we have oatmeal. Would you like some?
Sorry, you can't account for bad taste, but we just had...
Yeah, I guess it'll do.
Just sorry with the amount of time that we had. We just had to experience some of your cuisine before we had to go off to business, so...
Roll persuasion. You can roll with advantage, Theo, because Tibian is helping you.
21.
Yes. He kind of looks at you. Well, I guess you're all right for upstairs folk. And you can hear that shift in his accent in a moment. Theo, you have the language skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can tell right away that he's not from Polsalav or Darasov.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably from Narasov. Novolov. Look, I need my own map sometimes because...
I know, I was thinking about the map
Navalov.
too.
Navolov.
Oh, yeah. Can you switch us to the map?
I can switch you to the map. I can switch you to the map. There you go. Everybody on the map.
Thank you.
He's not from Darasov or Posolav. He's probably from Navalov, which is the free dwarven city in the south, which kind of borders Cortel, Walaba, and Tenerique. All right, then. You want oatmeal. You want actual breakfast. Yourselves.
Shashuka with coffee, black.
Oh, actually, you're wise. I like you. 2 or 3
2 or 3 what?
eggs.
2.
Mr. Cleric, sir?
As much protein as you have available. Have a busy day.
All right,
Eggs,
then.
cheese, meat, whatever.
He will turn, and briefly, it does take a little bit of time. He isn't using magic to make breakfast. We have a clay pot of shashuka with 3 eggs, or 2 eggs. You asked for 2, sorry. I was about to
2,
say,
yeah.
that was the GM's mistake, not his. There's oatmeal with apples and raisins and a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on it for Thorn. There ends up being a full plate, like if we was at a Waffle House. There are a couple all-stars that show up for Theo and Tibian. Scattered, covered, chunked, because that's the norm for people. I personally skip the chunked, but whatever. And then Javi, you end up with what is basically an Italian combo toasted on a hard roll.
Sounds great.
Thorn says thank you in Dorvish with a perfect Posolov accent.
You see this like eyebrow raise and like this shift of the shoulders, like you just shifted from, you were kind of falling down because you were asking for porridge, but okay, you're grazing yourself above there. You're moving up in the world.
It's one of those things where when it's handed, it's almost by accident. It's, you're so used to saying thank you that you do it. Yeah. Not an intentional choice by Thorn.
All right. Have yourselves a good day. Yeah, I gotta cook for a bunch of nods.
Thank you.
Also,
I say thank you, chef.
Also, you should watch out. There's somebody impersonating a god last night or some shit like that. They threatened to, turn over everybody's stuff.
Now that is very interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, chef.
Yes. Blessings upon you, chef.
You're going to need both hands to eat. You know that.
You underestimate my abilities. And you'll notice that I do let go of you for like milliseconds at a time, where I go shovel food, throw it in my mouth, and drop the fork and grab you in less than half a second.
Theo's gonna help by having a mage hand hold the food if you want to have a better handle on him.
So here's my question.
Poor Brandibus.
Do you not trust that he'll come with us?
Absolutely not. Not even a little bit.
Bandibus.
I don't trust that he'll stay here in this country for longer than 5 seconds.
If I wanted to, I could teleport at will.
But you won't.
But you didn't.
I haven't so far. I would ask politely that you let my wrist go now.
He hasn't
Starting to
teleported
chafe.
yet because he hasn't sent word to Uraba that he's coming. And if he doesn't, he'll get trapped in the bottom of a lake.
Oh, that is fun. Do you not like holding hands with me, Bandabreast?
The chafing.
Maybe we let him go. Just for the time being.
Okay, but I am not responsible for what he does.
He rubs his wrists and then produces some ointment to rub on his skin. Now that it is seen that it is almost like halfling handprints in his wrist.
Oh, I was not holding you that hard. You really are frail. I almost thought that was a disguise. Oh, that's good to know.
I have tangled with so many demons and devils. The fact that I still have flesh is a minor miracle.
Oh, you're so dramatic.
When you get run through by an ice devil, you'll understand.
Ah, you underestimate the adventures I've been on. And I shovel like the rest of my plate before we get out of the palace.
This story about an ice devil. You're gonna have to tell me more about that later.
Oh, certainly.
Maybe
As we're
once out of
making our way to-
earshot.
As we're making our way to the Yellow Dragon, Javi's gonna like sidle up again next to Bandibus and say, "What did you do to piss off the halfling?"
Exist.
That is a lie.
The
You all
yellow
are very entertaining.
the yellow dragon is in the academic quarter, which isn't actually that far from the palace. There's a large thoroughfare, which is the 4-horse length wide that goes between the palace and the academy. It's about 2.5, 3 miles total in length. But the yellow dragon is about 3/4 of the way to the collegiate area and off one of the side streets in the in a little cul-de-sac. There is a half-elf who runs it. Who are they, Bandibus?
Genevieve, she is absolutely wonderful. Has an unfortunately sharp mind, recollects everything. Almost holds scratches like a dwarf. It's disturbing. But has a fine taste in many forms of alcohol and makes the best bread in the district.
Yes, both a sourdough and a brown are the culinary, well, most popular breads that she makes. Not the only ones, but the most popular. Image. She. Oh, here it is. Here we are. It's like I can find a tavern, NPCs on demand because I have a thing. All right, there we go. We said Genevieve.
Yes.
Cool. There we go. Now we have everyone. All right. You come in. It's a little loud. It is supposed to have been a holiday weekend for the academics in the area, you know, to celebrate the coronation. Everyone was going to take the day off. Now there's a little bit more drama going on, but there's still, you can hear a lot of music coming from inside. You can hear a pretty good, but definitely a place where it falls into the zone of the people who play here are usually college musicians, but they're college musicians who are probably going to get a gig and do a better job elsewhere. So, you know, oh, what's the name of the bar in Athens that the B-52s and like 4 other major bands came out of? And I can't remember because I was living in Atlanta. I would have been there this weekend to watch the game. Can't remember. But it's that kind of place where they have a reputation of picking, good local talent that's on their way to someplace better. Or if you can get to play there, you can maybe make a name for yourself, kind of thing. Nice place to introduce folk.
Well, the crowd has gotten significantly the same. Which in that case, I would suggest that if you want to hold your ears and get quick service, move back there.
You do know that there are a couple booths upstairs that Genevieve reserves for the professors if they wish to have more quiet conversations.
My question is, do you like speaking over people or do you want quiet conversation?
I feel like this one will merit quiet conversation.
In that case, let me use some of my academic sway to get in the upper room.
I'll look over at you and I'm like, academic persuade?
Well, who knows
That's
what kind
not-
of pass he has?
I am a dean. Oh,
Won't hold that against you.
Genevieve, it has been too long.
Vanderbrus, you still have a tab open.
Ah, right, and let me close it.
Or do you want to add up to it? Because apparently you're coming to visit more often now.
I've been roped into another series of unfortunate adventures which bring me back. But-
So you want the sour or you want the pear?
The pear I need to be able to think. And the sour I drink too much. If we could use one of the upper rooms for...
Your table is
Slowly.
reserved.
Thank you. And considering how, I don't know, long it's going to be again, here's a diamond. Have fun with it.
She kind of looks at it, raises an eyebrow, but does slide it underneath the bar. This is not a woman who will turn down money in any way, shape, or form.
All right. Right this way?
Thorin grabs a sour before heading upstairs.
Anyone else?
I will also take
Pear.
a sour.
Sour, pear.
Pear.
Pear. 2 pears, 1 sour.
A pot of hot water and some tea, please.
What kind? We have a nice Yoruba green if you would prefer.
That would be lovely, thank you.
Alright, a green, 2 sours, 2 pear. Alright. And then a pitcher of pear.
Thank you.
3 minutes, and she'll start pulling drinks to bring up to you.
Oh, your room.
Yeah, yes, it one of the perks of academia is having one of these 2 spaces to use.
Yeah, and it's not really a room, but it's one of those curved booths that kind of set back from the table. And there is a hanging curtain that you can pull closed to kind of give yourself privacy.
Now, are you concerned about anything more significant?
At this moment, or about the entire situation?
Yeah, at this moment.
Oh, no. Maybe how long it's going to take that sour to get here, but aside from that, no.
Not long. All right. I will refrain. So, aside from food and beverage, again, bread's very good. And summer so she should have lamb on the menu, but that's later in the day. Now, what aside from I'm guessing the missing persons is the reason we're all gathered here today?
Well, to get to know each other. To start with, because I think we are all extremely capable people. Bar the young one. I don't know much about them. They're just here for a good time. Aside from them being apparently fluent in Dwarvish, um, I think we need to get to know each other, get more comfortable with each other, because I think we would make a perfect team to go find out what happened with these missing people.
Not phrase again. You said there was 21.
I said there was 21.
Yes. Do we have a common link between them aside from the number?
The number, the time of disappearance, and the place of disappearance.
Okay.
And the fact that they're all divine casters.
That is a fact.
That is a fact.
Okay, that's more important. So we're looking at numerology. It's powerful if you use it properly, but it usually is more trouble than it's worth. 3, 4 base numbers of power, and so 7 of them, 7 times 3. You get the picture. Sounds like something for a sacrifice.
Thorn looks. Oh wait, the sours haven't come. Once the sours come, and
Yeah, Genevieve. Genevieve only said 3 minutes because she's got to boil some water. But
Right.
just before you start talking, they kind of appear and the curtain closes and she walks away. She's not caring.
yeah, Thorn looks to Barnabas. Looks at this space. Wizard. These places are used for formal discussions among the staff.
Sometimes, but precautions are occasionally taken.
Can we take some precautions?
Certainly. Give me a moment. And this is why you get up early. I would like to cast Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum.
Sure. What does this look like?
Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum. My spells. It looks like, in this case, a quick tracing of the finger along section of the table, but it is a mock-up of the space that they're in. And then after that tracing, taking some table salt and putting it over it, which then all of a sudden there's a quick sort of whoosh sound, and the outside world becomes much more quiet. It's barred from anything mystically private.
The palace is not safe from prying eyes or ears. And did you ever find either the person or the guest list itself?
That I have not had the opportunity to, unfortunately.
Sorry for the subterfuge earlier. With a bow as much as he's able to at this table in this booth. I am Thorn the Hedgeborn.
And I just like hit the table. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Thorn.
The god from last night.
I fucking
Yes, but
and the guard. Oh my god. I'm never going to hint the end of this.
I always thought Thorn was older.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're Thorn?
Quite sure. It is a title that I wear.
What are the chances Han and Chewie don't find out about this?
This?
That we met. That I know who you are. That you're real.
What? So I'm assuming I opened that other letter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Pulls out the fangirl letter that Han gave me. I'm,
Oh.
I'm assuming that is from you.
No.
Oh no,
it's
I'm
not.
sorry.
This
Okay,
is
sorry.
I owe Han and Shui money now.
Oh, okay.
And I
Sorry.
don't want to.
I misunderstood.
No, you're
that.
good. You're good.
Yeah.
No, Tibian had a long-standing bet with Han and Shui that you weren't real.
Oh. Oh, so
You probably know about this bet because Han...
yeah, I was gonna say I definitely would know about this
Because
bet.
Han has tried multiple times to manipulate things so that you and Tibian are in the same place so that he could win said bet.
Well, you know, I hate to see Han win anything, so I think that we can keep this on the down.
Okay.
He does
okay.
have a certain
Then-
voice, a little swagger when he thinks he's right, doesn't he?
Then all the subterfuge absolutely forgiven. Amazing. 10 out of 10. Round on me.
So, I look to Brandibus. My invitation to this party is not just addressed to Thorn, but to the name I would not sign in your book. And it is very important for me to find out who knew that name.
That is a very good place to start.
And I look to Javi. I suspect that the keys that you have, and I think from overhearing your conversations last night,
He pulls. You hear
Roots.
the jingling as he pulls them out at that time and tosses them to you.
The roots of House Core don't just go back to House Core Vermain, but all the way back to Irabora.
I'm not surprised.
And if our magical friend, who was so keen on getting those back, she had a hold of those and was doing what she was, whatever she was up to. It's not just here, it's everywhere. And he takes out the pauldron that he took with a 7-pointed star on it from the bandit he killed down in Giardan and puts it on the table. I didn't see the guts, so I don't know the guts were in the 7-pointed star yet. I just know that it's another 7.
Yep. But Malik, you recognize that symbol.
I do, yes. That is uncomfortably familiar. You weren't there last night, but someone disemboweled one of our royalty at the party. And he'll use minor illusion to pull up the image of the guts
right
in
at the
shape
table.
of in the middle of the table, in the image of the same symbol with the head of the royalty intact.
And that is the reason why we have breakfast early. That right there.
Oh, don't say your stomach is so sensitive.
Javi's continuing to chew on his sandwich that he's very slowly been eating this entire time.
Yeah. Thorn takes a swig of his sour. Unfortunately, I've seen worse.
Seems whoever you got that weapon from was present at our ceremony last night and had something else to say and wanted us all to see it.
Well, this piece of armor is from a bandit lord that is dead, but there's an entire squadrons of them crawling all over Giardan right now, wearing the same symbol.
Giardan?
Yes, the old southern duchy.
Oh, yes, yes, I am quite familiar with it. It's worrying. Amongst the other things that are wrong with it, having bandits or cultists running around.
Ofinto still hasn't recovered fully, or Giardan for that matter.
Field left fallow grows ill seed. And I'm pulling out the book.
Mm-hmm.
Just opening it, flipping through the pages. Is that symbol familiar in any way?
To you?
Yes. Or her?
To you? No. Her? Yes. She is upset. She does not like being on this table with that thing, and she's being rather vocal about it.
All right. I understand. Well, that's a confirmation of the sort. She's familiar with that symbol. It's upsetting. So, definitely evil. Possibly dating all the way back to the cataclysm. This is
Okay.
not going to be easy.
Then 21 people. That is not an easy number to vanish without a trace. What magics could be involved?
Oh, so many. The fact that that mirror was there was it made it so easy to do anything. Find the person who's responsible for the mirror and the name. And we have our first major thread back to where those people went.
Okay. Well, then who do we go to speak to?
Well, I would say the soon-to-be emperor to at least make him informed as to the scope of what's going on, as he is going to be crowned ostensibly today. But barring that, as much as I despise the man, Kraus may have more idea of who did a number of things that were ill-advised magically and may have ignored his warnings.
The Emperor?
No, not the Emperor. Kraus, the master of the
Oh,
academic arcane academy.
He's dangerous.
Dangerous and incompetent. But it's more the incompetency that makes him dangerous.
No,
it's bold of
it's
you to
his,
assume he is incompetent.
it's his intent desire to obtain power that he is too incompetent to understand how to wield that makes him dangerous. Incompetence alone does not make one dangerous. Couple it with ego and a thirst for power, and you have problems.
As much as I want to blame him, and trust me, I want to blame him, I think this goes even beyond him. As much as he grasps and needs, him and the Emperor were indeed close friends. And if he has been tending to him and finding that difficult, knowing his obsessive nature, he would have thrown everything he had to save him the mind of his friend before finally accepting what fate had in store for the Emperor. I don't think this is him.
No, I'm just saying that he can't be trusted.
Oh no, most definitely not. But the thing that you can trust about him is that he's untrustworthy, which makes things somewhat simple.
Leek, you'd recognize that symbol from, well, aside from the poor unfortunate crown prince who Javi very deftly saved. Couple items that your friend asked you to.
Have I acquired them yet?
One of them,
Oh, yeah?
a bottle. Simple.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to say that out loud.
You know.
The book with the name that everyone is so upset about. Surely it was manned by someone.
No, that's his book that he wanted me to sign my name in,
Right.
my real name in.
Mm-hmm.
But the invitation that I received had it. No one should have that name.
Well, clearly there's someone sending out invitations and someone setting up this event.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be the royalty themselves. They don't get their hands dirty doing that sort of thing. The entertainment, they
Sometimes
don't
they
get their hands dirty doing that sort of thing. There's someone in charge of that. We have to find the people behind the scenes.
Yeah, who's the party planner for the palace?
The secretary. Or something.
Probably. I'm
Is
not.
my hand doing okay, DM?
That's a very good question. Could you please roll me another religion, please? I was about to ask for it, but since you offered.
The keys are in Thorn's possession now.
Yes,
Oh.
I know. That's not going to be a big.
Oh, I didn't realize you had handed them to me. I'm sorry.
I tossed
Yeah,
them
you just threw them
across.
onto the table.
Oh,
I
right.
tossed
That's
them
yeah. So
literally
they're
to you.
yeah. I'm sorry. I missed the cue.
Yeah.
With a 12, however, your hand is definitely burning, and you will take 2 points of damage. It is visibly noticeable now.
So this is just this is me, player, asking: is it that my tattoos are burning?
No.
Okay.
That
Okay.
other thing on your palm of your hand.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Thorn looks down and it's probably, yeah, with 2 points of damage, it's definitely visible. You all would see basically what looks almost like a brand running across his right hand, and that is literally appearing as you're sitting at the table, and you probably can smell burning flesh as it begins to char.
Ooh, you didn't
And
pick
what,
that up.
pray tell, is that?
He points to the keys. That's the level of thing we're dealing with. That's from me just being close to it.
So if we were to actually touch your hand with the keys and he'll pick up
That's
the
not.
keys.
I'm sure you want to be cursed too as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that's Let's actually do something proper here. Well, I have time and booze. It's time for an identify.
Oh, identify on what?
Particularly the symbol of the Chatelet.
Oh, thank you. So that's going to take you 10 minutes as you begin to cast this ritual. What are
Yes.
the rest of you doing?
Uh, um, quick question to the rest of my players, safety tool wise. Thorn's probably going to do a little bit of I'm going to call it self-harm, but basically is going to cut this scar out of his hand if people are okay with that. But if you are not, we can just leave it at that. That's what he is going to do. And we can use chat or whatever else. I probably should have put that in chat instead of saying it out loud.
But at the same time, it is a good thing that we are acknowledging, even for the people at home, that we take this seriously and we do this we ask these questions from each other and we think about these things. Which is, important. So Thorn is about to remove this burning flesh from his hand. Theo, Tibian, what are you doing?
I look over at FBO. I'm like, this is a little bit more complex than I was expecting.
Certainly more dire than I was expecting, but you know how things are. Big problems.
So I guess so it should be expected if they attack the prince soon to be emperor. I guess should have been expected. It's a good thing you're here, though. You're very much a people person.
I can figure out who did this, or I can. That symbol, having that related is a little advantageous considering the area. So I'll make a call. See if we can get that started.
If you're going to use sending, you're going to have to leave the booth.
She gives you a look like I know the rules and how this works. And she gets up. Like a little head tilt.
Like, oh, that's cute.
I'll be right back.
Avi, what are you doing while this is going on?
Well, Javi will like study the different symbols that have been placed out there, make notes of them, and kind of, well, take some time to kind of reference back across, the different things that he's seen and experienced to see if there are any common threads, while the identify is happening. So basically some quiet contemplation and sipping his tea.
History or religion, your choice. Depending on what you're looking for, you might get different information.
I think in this case, history is going to be the one.
Oh, with a 28.
Nice.
Very nice. Back to that in a moment. Malik, what are you doing?
My friend has not given me any context for why he wants things with this symbol on them, except that they are important to him teaching me, right?
Yes, and usually the things that it isn't like everything he asked you for had this symbol on it. It just happened to be that like 2 or 3 of them did. It was just, secondary. Most of the things that he brings you he requests of you usually come from a, esoteric languages, relics. This particular, there was a couple clay and earthen vessels, that vase, you remember, had very detailed inscription that talked about power modulation and ways in which you can, control your output and how you seem to others or are perceived.
So for all I know, this is an inconvenient coincidence that whoever is antagonizing us happens to have the same symbol of something that I've been asked to collect.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just recognize it, but it's not like an overwhelming majority of these items were attached with that symbol. It's like 2 or 3.
Okay, the symbol on Thorn's hand, do I have any idea what that is?
No, it's not even a symbol. It's just a...
Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a bar. I mean, it's just, as though, again, grabbing something incredibly hot.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you had grabbed like a pan instantly in there. But with that 28 in history, and going back to what you remember from last night, Javi, you do recall a certain interesting correlation. Because a 7-pointed star was a symbol that was used, and it was appropriated, and a bastardization after that the 8th city of the constellation fell. It was a mark that was frequently seen with sympathizers, saboteurs,
sympathizers to the attackers.
Yes. To the unfortunate individuals who wanted to break the constellation.
I see.
Usually with the correlation that one or more of those other points would be marked out on an attack on a particular city. The assumption being that they desired to remove all of the constellation. Yeah. I guess for a certain given value, they've succeeded. But that's where we're going to take our break for the evening, all. Stretch, refresh, bio, do all of those good things. And when we come back, we get to find out what else is going on, because there's a lot happening here. And I'm all for it. And I get to sit back and watch all of this, because this is great, y'all. So we'll see you in a few. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you were refreshed, you stretched, you did everything you needed, and are ready to go back into the world of Agapia. On the continent of Endios, in the empire of Varum, in the city of Asava, there lies this tavern, the Yellow Dragon. So, conversations happening between Theo and Tibian. Malik is contemplating, considering. Avi is contemplating. Thorn is providing some medical attention to his hand. And Bandibus is casting Identify. I have a very, very important question for you, Thorn. We don't need to go into details about how you're providing medical attention, but I do have one very important question. How careful are you about perhaps paying attention to other things that are going on around you in this instant?
I think, well, actually, I need to ask you a question.
Yes.
In the intervening time,
Mm-hmm.
how often has this happened?
Once it healed, it hasn't. This is
Okay.
new.
Okay. So in that case, I am not going to do what I was saying I was doing. I was thinking that this had happened on occasion before. So at this point, he is just staring at it. And bit lost in thought, but I think it would depend on what it is. I think if it's in relation to that, he would be very aware because his mind is very open to what that means. If it is other things not related to that, he would be probably certainly at disadvantage, if not oblivious.
Good to know. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Just a little nuance I needed for me. Thanks. As Bandibus finishes casting Identify on the ring, the seal, the rings, all of the above, right?
Primarily just
The seal.
the seal and the chatelaine.
Yes. Well, first of all, it is heavily enchanted.
Oh, that's good to know. What schools?
Enchantment specifically. But more importantly, it's an anchor and focus. Dual purpose.
Is there a command word tied to this?
There seems to be some sort of command. You're not sure if it's a word or a phrase.
Identify gives me the word of the phrase.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's intentionally obscured by something else.
Oh. They went to a lot of trouble.
And the magic on it is old. Definitely older than the Duchess. Perhaps even older than everyone here?
The continent.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, my previous it had references to the old continent, right?
Yes, the spell in particular. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a spell you hadn't seen, that hadn't been seen since. That's correct.
Gotcha.
Curious.
But this is not quite that. Well, perhaps it was. But the shield on it is not that old. You know that the heraldic symbol on it is mere 90 years old.
Yes. But, well, it was the
Right.
symbol itself is 90 years old, but it is from the era when they took an old symbol and modified it into
Yes.
a new symbol. So the symbol itself could actually be much older. Just the design is
Yes,
90 years
the
Right?
coat of arms could indeed be much older, and they may have redone the design on the coat of arms.
Gotcha.
The actual emblem of the coat of arms as the chatelaine, right? Because a chatelaine is just a big thing of keys,
Yeah.
and this is a like ornamentation upon it. Has the
Like a
head.
keychain.
Yeah, basically a giant keychain. About the size of the keychains that Hannah makes, and you should go get Hannah's keychains.
Especially a Prue. My cat is adorable.
Enchantment, no surprise.
Yay!
Kitty. This is a focus. No wonder she was trying to get back so desperately. And it's old, quite old. And the command word has somehow been obscured. Which most people don't go to that level of trouble.
I don't have lots of training in the arcane. When you say it's a focus, um, elaborate on that further.
So, arcane magics. Well, magics in general, but arcane especially. There are many ways to focus the mind and draw upon the magics therein in the cosmos.
Like a divine symbol.
Sort of, if you're going that route. Like, there's a reason why there's the myriad components, the ritualization of spells. A focus allows you to get around some of the rigmarole if it's something that is properly attuned to you and is something that you have a resonance with. And so it can be an incredibly useful tool. Also, it strongly aids in ritual casting. There is good news that we have this, and there is, as of always, complication. Good news. This, in the hands of a diviner, give us the keys to a kingdom. I am not a diviner. But there are potent ones that do exist. Just very far away.
How far?
Home?
Which is
Garaba?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, never been there.
It's quite the trip. I've
well,
made it
that's
many times.
There is a spell called Legend.
Oh, yes.
This could provide a number of answers to a series of mysteries should be cast.
would they even be willing? I know that they are not, the elves in Yaraba are not particularly inclined.
Given the answers that could easily be tied to this, I don't think I'd have to twist too many arms.
Someone put
Javi's just smirking at all of this.
someone put a lot of effort into obscuring this thing. What are the
Oh,
chances that doing what you're doing is going to have adverse effects on it?
that's why we're doing it in here for one. Two, if I wanted to, I could probably scour that magic, but at the same time, that scours the resonance. Don't want that. That's why we need to find a good divine.
You said that now, were you being hyperbolic when you said that some of these magics and some of these symbols are as old as old
The cataclysm.
Arabia?
Yes, I'm not being hyperbolic. I will say that I am a passionate individual, but when it comes to knowledge and truth, I'm deeply factual.
I agree with his assessment.
Yeah, may I see the keys again?
Certainly.
I will. Javi will start like looking over the item.
Uh,
So you have legend lore. I thought so.
Uh-huh.
Um, so the item itself is reforged. That's the first thing you define about it. Number one, it was originally from Agapia. It is that old, and the casting is that old. But the reforged, but the reforging is recent, 100 years at most. It is an anchor for a spell, but it's actually two anchors. One, it's likely that she used it to possibly anchor other wards and spells at the estate of Duke Brand, which might be why she wants them back in person, because they're the key. That would be the other thing to remember, right? The coat of arms isn't of the family that she married into, it's of the family she married out of. She brought these with her when she married Duke Brand.
Gotcha.
The activation phase for those, and they act as a key to each of those wards in her estates. They require the keys themselves and the activation clause phrase. It's in Infernal, and it's merely a statement of "I am your servant." Although servant is servant means a lot of things. Less servant, because that implies that one's getting paid, but it's voluntary eternal service, so
I see.
and there is a secondary anchoring spell on it. This one's
Oh.
older. It's much, much, much older.
I'm intrigued.
Anchored in blood and in oaths. It is not the only anchor, and you know this immediately. This is not the only anchor for this particular spell, but it is one of perhaps 14. This spell gets a little fuzzy that far out. It might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less, but you can guarantee at least 14 other anchors like this that are tied in blood, accepting oaths of allegiance to the evil gods beyond the plains and the wizards of the sundering. So much so that you would expect this is an oath of service to those, an enforcement thereof.
I see.
And it is a focus and an amplifier. And you can guess that one of the reasons she was real pissed off that Thorn took it from her is that mechanically speaking, it would have given her saves and her spell save DC and her spell attacks a +2.
Oh. Well
She
done.
was real not happy about that. You know also that anyone could get that benefit, they would just have to take the same oaths.
But they would have to know what the oaths are.
Mm.
Correct?
Yes. That's not in this. It's one of those it's assumed kind of things, but it is involving blood and ritual sacrifice and sworn allegiance of a bloodline.
All the good things that the Infernals ask for.
Exactly. And you can tell based on the age and everything involved that you would probably assume that this is a family tie kind of thing, and it's not just her, it's everyone of her entire family lineage going back to the Sundering itself all 2,000 years ago.
And the long game of telephone that those sorts of oral traditions produce.
Ooh, you do have one other piece of information.
Mm-hmm.
It's also tied to the enforcement of that oath.
Oh.
Like,
So,
there's an active curse being tied, anchored. Well, this is one of the anchors for that active curse of a betrayer of that oath.
gotcha. Do I get the impression? Two things. One, do I get the impression that either the older anchor or the current or the newer anchor was also used to prolong the spells that were on the Duke?
The newer anchor was going to facilitate that.
Okay. And then the second part was, do I get a sense at all about how, like, how many other anchors to that curse or enforcement of that curse, other items typically are there for a curse of that type?
You can trace through this itself 14.
So there's
14 a total of
14
14. A total of 14.
And it's all the same enforcement.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like it's a web, right?
Gotcha. So they're all kind of like daisy chained together.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
And it's like you could remove one piece from the chain and it won't weaken the spell overall. You'd have to remove an X number before you achieve cascade failure, right?
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. Okay. I'll be relaying this as I'm looking it over. Like, one, because of the protections in which Brandibus put up, there's no reason like that I feel not that I shouldn't. But also, so people don't get kind of like weirded out by me staring at this thing, just quietly. So I'll just kind of like be giving tidbits as I'm gaining insights.
I know it's not wise of me, but I really want to destroy that damn thing now.
Wouldn't it be more useful to hold on to it?
Yeah.
Yes, because sympathy is a very important factor in finding
Sympathy has nothing to do with it. Research or maybe blackmail.
I was thinking more using it to find the other pieces,
Yes.
because
Yes,
destroying it by
Yes.
itself
It
has
is
no value.
It is our only so far lead on this thing, and fairly potent lead as it is.
A link in a wicked chain.
I mean, yeah, we just.
So now that we have all this, what is our plan of action going forward? I assume with the
There
spells,
is much
with
to
this
do.
ritual, that time is maybe of the essence.
Yes, we shouldn't be dallying too much on this ritual with the 21 lives at stake. However, I don't know how much, if at all, it was delayed due to the undoing of the Crown Prince's demise. There is a chance that that has given us enough delay in their process that we might not be as far behind as one might think. Not saying we should drag our feet or anything, but
Thorn's looking at his hand, opening it and closing it slowly. This scar.
is there a connection, Thorn?
I don't think the Crown Prince, his death was a distraction. They knew the number of healers. I mean, even though they were taking them, it was about getting the other 21. I don't think they give a damn about the Crown Prince or who inherits.
It is a potent statement, if anything. let alone whatever magical application it might have.
What is a throne to a god?
Exactly.
There's a pawn in a game.
They have better pawns. They're playing a longer game.
Fair enough.
Has been going on a while, probably. In Sakal, we encounter monstrosities from old Agapia. Often enough that it's not rare. However, in the recent weeks, maybe months, there has been an uptick on these monstrosities washing up ashore, attacking anyone on the coast. And if I'm not mistaken, I look over at Malik. These same monstrosities have been making their way down to the coast of Tanarik. So whatever is happening is disrupting old Aerobia or the magics there.
But if
Or awakening them.
Constellation is inflation.
disemboweling the prince was just to make a statement, and it did make an impression, who was it to make an impression for? Whose attention were they trying to get?
There's a distraction. A very
But then
simple
why
means.
announce themselves? Why not make a distraction that made it completely that distracted everyone from who might have taken them away? Why did they announce themselves as the ones responsible?
They announced themselves, but they left a calling card for a name no one remembers. Not yet. I've dealt with the megalomaniac. This makes perfect sense. Also, nice little side sacrifice to whatever dark god you've sworn oath for yourself in all of your mind.
Prove you're worthy.
I have taken something that was important to an entire nation. Look at me, Dad.
So, I have a horrible thought.
Share.
Please.
Are we positive the Emperor is still alive, or that the Prince wasn't already crowned in private?
That we don't know.
That's something we can ask for sure.
At this point, hopefully they would admit to it. King's
One
blood.
could hope.
One would hope that disemboweling
Pitcher
would make
gets
you.
poured.
Yeah.
One would hope that disemboweling would make you more open to discussing, troubles.
Wide open.
Well, then we have many things to ask. One, hey, are you Emperor now? Were you already? Two, who set this all up? Names, location.
Invitations.
Yes, invitation. The mirrors, which ideally is the same person, but And then from there,
There are other things that can be useful in locating the 21. Tibian,
Like?
do you have something important to Pilter? Something that either a gift that meant a lot between the two of you, or an heirloom of his?
don't mind me looking up which one Pilter is. Which one is Pilter? He was
Again,
our
they are
sorcerer.
talking about sympathies, and there are spells which they are likely guarding against, but it's worth giving a shot. Just
Oh, hmm. Let, well, when I get hurt, it is Pilter who heals me. On the rare occasion when I get hurt. Um, would he? Would he be chill about it? I'll roll for it. Let's see what our relationship is like. Because for me, I'm friends with everyone. I like everyone. But obviously, I'm acquired taste. Um, well, and I go under um my shirt and I sort through a couple of chains and necklaces I have, and I pull out one with a symbol of the the god, the water, the one. Yep,
Mantra.
that
Tamandra.
Tamandra.
Lady of the Waves.
Lady of the Waves. And then I pull out and I'm like, well, Hilter did give me this once with a lecture about don't go out on your own to go fight things. You might die, things that Hilter would say. Um, if you think this would assist you.
Don't take it off yet. In order for this to work, at least in my mind, we're going to need as many of the 21's items as possible. This is a strong ritualistic casting of locate person, which is going to require as many of those objects and sympathies as possible to power through whatever defenses they may possess. Or at least give us a rough estimate good enough for teleport.
Well, then we need also a list of the divine casters that were taken.
Yes,
Would you
defined
believe it?
names, items, etc.
Well, is there anything else that we need to plan for before we leave this aura of protection?
Just be ready to piss off every single royal from one edge of the empire to the other.
I don't think
I don't
upsetting
think
might be
So.
the. I
We
mean, maybe that's the
basically
way you
don't
do it,
want
but
you to do the talking.
Not unless absolutely necessary.
not unless the rest of us are dead. I think.
yes. Or are
It
not
is a
able to speak.
bit
But-
and drastic.
But on the matter of the 7-point star in the southern region, I can get some research on that. Head started. I have some people down there close to home.
You're from the region.
Yes.
Hmm.
Barrel embers are deeply entrenched in that region. We've been there for 200 years.
Something you failed to inform me of in his many talks about you.
I thought someone that would be up on research would know basic royal families and stuff, nobility, that sort of thing.
Lineages of humanity is a thing I haven't really done much of. Most of my lineage studies are of infernal and abyssal bloodlines and their ties to different greater demons and devils.
Not much difference between them, honestly.
You'd be surprised. There's a good bit of similarity in the ideas of fealty, especially those in the infernal plane, seem to mirror an awful lot of what's up here.
Well, you might meet one sooner or later. Either that or you and my sister will get along. Who knows?
She's the one that doesn't talk much and reads. I like her already.
Reads, talks. They're sorry.
Oh, well, no one's perfect.
But we do have a plan, though, right? We do have. I can at least talk with Agnar, get that method sort out.
If you can get as much information out of them as possible, specifically an audience with the secretary, that would be amazing.
Of course.
And I'll leave the other more sensitive things to the rest of you. Pretty much only use me if you need arcane consults. Otherwise, the royal family is prickly with me and I them.
Enough. I look over to Thorn. I mean they were looking for that guard, so I assume you will take a different disguise, or will you continue on with
Oh.
this visage?
I will be myself, I think, for the rest. I just didn't know who was knocking on my door at 6 a.m. I am invited as myself, which is strange, not having the renown outside of Giardan as the rest of you. But like I said, my invitation was, I don't think, about being here as Thorn the Hedgeborn, but for other reasons.
You do not need to divulge all your secrets, right?
Oh, don't worry. I've been holding these for plenty long.
Good. Let's keep it that way. I have a feeling they're holding something important together. Let's get on our way, shall we, and go forward.
Let's go.
So where are all of you?
I think the palace.
Yeah.
People need to talk to Agnar, other members of the royal court, possibly an interrogation. Well, I just sit in the background and glower at everything.
Sit in the background and glower. Okay, so I guess the next question is, who is going with? What are the groupings? I have GM logistics questions, you understand, right?
Who is on team Let's Question Agnar, aside from Fear?
It might be better with just
Yeah.
one-on-one, yeah.
Okay, an intimate setting. Who wants to talk to the soon-to-be, if not already, Emperor?
I believe it would make sense for me to follow up on his health.
Yeah.
All right. Then, is there anyone else of the royals that someone wants to speak with aside from those two? At least to start with.
I'm looking through some of the other folks who
I
were
don't think there's
here.
anybody else pertinent, really. Is there?
I was going to say, Brandibus, do you need to go talk to head of the school?
I probably should go say hello to Krause, who wants to see an absolutely awful conversation. Malik, would you like to enjoy possibly a great shouting match?
Oh, please. I would love to come along.
Certainly.
Thorn
Go ahead.
is definitely swinging back by his room. He's got some business to deal with.
So, Tibian, where would you like to go?
I am gonna go and find Henning and Enick and let them know that I don't plan on returning to Sakel after the coronation, or at least for a little bit.
After that business is done, if you have some way of contacting Darius, I suggest you do. He likes you. He's more likely to respond to you.
I'll find a way.
Thank you.
Alec, where are you?
What?
Where are you headed?
I'm going with Bandabras, but side note, where are the keys right now?
believe still on
in
the table.
Hobie's hands.
Oh no, in with Javi has them because
Okay.
Yeah.
he cast Legend Lore on them, so he need to have them.
Okay.
So Javi has them. So Malik and Bandabras, Javi, Thorn, and everyone else is separating by themselves. Okay, so we're gonna do around the Thorn, around the horn, starting with Thorn because
Woo!
the rhyme was just there.
So yeah, I go back to my room with this sort of branded scar.
By the time you
on-
get back to your room, it's mostly back to being healed all the way over.
Yeah. And just she was sort of flexing it and doing that. So he takes out his sickle, which it sort of apparates in his hand from the sort of tattoos, and places it on a counter, and it stands up basically on its blade by itself. And there is this small, it looks like a bonsai tree that is the hilt with a crown over top of it. And in front of that, he pulls out this shield. It's actually a small shield, not very large in the grand scheme of things. It's not like a tower shield or anything like that. And it basically looks like it's plain. I mean, most people would think that almost that he had taken like a silver serving, very shallow silver serving dish or something, type idea. But he places it sort of in front of the this bureau, so it's the sickle sort of up on the shelf, the shield in front of it. And he kneels down, sort of Indian style, in front of it. And as he looks into the sort of mirror-like surface of the inside of the shield, it's a different face that's looking back.
We're gonna slide from that point over to Javi. And you are well known around the palace in general. You've been here before, and while you may not necessarily be on a first name basis with all of the nobles, the serving class definitely recognizes the wandering elven appearing priest of Vestru who comes and advises on occasion.
Same one that also makes sure that their neighborhoods are taken care of.
Exactly. You have a very good relationship with most of them. The ones that you don't are just the types of they're not happy with anybody, really. Kind of people. There's always that one, right?
Oh, of course. There are always those who are not reachable, at least in the current time.
Yes. Perhaps in the future they might be, but not at the moment. You are walking towards the royal apartments. Alexander has left word with the guards that if you make an appearance, you are to be admitted immediately.
Oh, this is a first for Javi, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, you saved his life and definitely put the insides back inside,
And in reality, like to Javi, that's just another day of preserving life and that careful balance between life and death. And it still strikes him as odd that it's important, because he would have done it for one of the servants as much as he would have done it for the royalty.
Yeah, and I'm sure the servant would have just as much respect for you and desire to give you as you can, but Alexander has the power, authority, and money to, make good on those kind of promises.
Oh, yes, yes. And it doesn't make Javi uncomfortable, but he definitely doesn't expect anything in return, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so he still acts a little surprised from time to time.
So you are admitted. Oh, look, I realized halfway through saying that was going to happen, and I just went with it.
Yeah, it's fun.
The guards, uh, the guards take a moment to check to make sure that you are who you are. They actually put their hands on you. They say that there was a couple there was an, mentioned that somebody was, using disguise magic, and they're attempting to be.
There were dozens of invisible undead. I assume that you all would be on high alert. So, take your time.
You get
No
even
apologies
more
necessary.
approval for that. It's like, oh, thank you. We've had to deal with more assholes, and thank you for making our day less asshole. You are admitted. Alexander's rooms are both what you expect from a crown prince of an empire the size of Varoom, but at the same time not. It's not ostentatious. There is a sitting room, and you assume that there's a more private, changing room and bedroom. You can see a couple doors off the side, but the space is official but somehow welcoming. Lots of heavy woods and velvet fabrics, but worn in such a way that it's comforted. Not in anything that's threadbare, but definitely lived in, shall we say. Alexander is seated in one of the armchairs. You come in and there's seating area. There's 2 armchairs to the left, a long, low table in front of them, another set of 2 chairs to the right of what a very large fireplace that is at this point covered with a very intricately engraved, punch-worked cast iron fire grill to allow the heat to escape into the room, but to prevent the smoke and perhaps anything else from coming in.
Yes. When Javi becomes noticed by Alexander, he will greet him. Your Highness, I'm here to see how you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Please come in. Sit. Can I get you something to drink? Eat.
Oh no, the chef took good care of me already this morning. And
I
had a wonderful tea at the Yellow Dragon before.
Yellow Dragon is a good place to go for pretty much anything, and chef is a wonder.
So,
can you clear me for solid food, because chef has promised the cheese tart that I didn't get last night, and I can't eat it until you say I can.
Oh well, then let's find out how you are doing. Have you had any unnatural bleeding?
No bleeding. Everything seems to be in working order, exactly as you desired.
Clearly,
I hope you wanted.
Well, the goal was to get you back as close to peak health as possible. Clearly, you have an appetite. You are very much in favor of the cheese tarts, which I'm sure are delectable. Have you had any trouble swallowing or drinking?
No, everything is working. They just said no solid food, according to the doctor, because, I'd been dead. How long
And
can
your
I
energy levels?
I'm a little tired, but that's not a surprise considering.
Yeah.
And he kind of gestures at what looks like to be. And you realize you're in the sitting room and he's kind of relaxed, but there's a large number of papers and documents spread out on this low table in front of him. He goes, all of this.
No, that does look like quite a big job.
2/3 of that are from guests last night, for demanding a return of their missing members. That pile over there is from Duke Brandt's family demanding an annulment from his wife and the reallocation of the property. And that pile over there, it's a smaller, shorter pile. That entire pile is apparently when one comes back from the dead, they become even more attractive to perhaps those who wish matrimonial entanglements.
Yes, it's people will see it as a blessing, or they will see it as a sign of longevity, immortality, etc., etc. And yes, it's not uncommon. I've seen it over the years.
The scented.
Mm. Any in particular that are noxious to you? Any scents that have turned your stomach unexpectedly?
The one on the top. I do not think it is worth it. It's smells almost like green apples, but is wrong somehow.
Javi will take a sniff to see if there's anything.
If you were to make the comment, it definitely smells like green apple, but it smells like that fake green apple that you get in hard candies.
Yes. Yes, a facsimile, a poor facsimile. It seems they probably did not distill the scent very well. Definitely not high quality when it comes to that. Probably not fitting of your station.
It's mildly upsetting considering that it is officially from well, it is officially from the niece, Yelena's niece.
Yes. But as you know, the further from the source of the wealth and prestige does not always mean equal access to the privileges.
Yeah, I'm not marrying my third cousin. It doesn't matter what everybody says, not marrying my third cousin. That's creepy. She's also 14, and I think this is inappropriate for her to send me this. Is there a way you could take this and have us this just maybe tell her that this is wrong?
If I could have a chat with her and her parents, if you wish.
Look, I would love to do it with Elena, but she's a little upset. Arnora is very upset. Arnfin is...
Arnfin?
Yes. Yes.
I would be happy to check in on Yelena and Nora if you wish as well when I'm done here, if that is something that you think would benefit them. But I from two things. First of all, with everything that you currently have to juggle, do you wish for some insights from a humble
Yes,
priest?
how much is it going to cost me? I don't know. No, rewind. I don't care. Can I just hand all of the drama from last night? Let me rephrase that. All of the magical weirdness drama from last night onto you and your associates, because you and I guess Bandabros are doing well, and Theo apparently is bonding with everybody, and I think that will be good. And you can take care of that, and I can take care of the giant diplomatic mess and political shit.
I would be happy to take lead on the missing 21. It's still 21, yes.
We have confirmed 21 missing and 7 dead.
Ooh, yes. Then I would be honored to assist in that regard, especially since the dead is something in which I am familiar with.
Or at least we're assuming they're dead. I mean, there weren't enough pieces. We're assuming they're dead.
Yes. And I will make sure that the last friend finds them.
And he kind of will nod at that and murmur a very short and through them to you, a very brief kind of acknowledgement of the faith.
And I will,
He would tell you,
mhm.
as he would hand you a pile, and it's about 4 or 5, pieces of paper, not very thick. That's basically a listing of everyone who's missing and an account of everyone who's missing. The 7 dead will immediately jump out at you.
Okay.
Because they are also divine casters, but they're not clerics. Or druids.
Are they paladins?
Yes.
Are any of them connected to Cortel?
4 of them are Zendari.
Oh, well, that's not good.
They were just in the city. Ugh.
I mean, politically, I'm sure that's also not good.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And 2 are actually paladins from the Muhafiz.
Oh.
The Utakan orcs, paladins sworn to Velthaprini, the All-Knowing.
Yes. I am briefly acquainted with them during my travels.
So you have 4 paladins of the Zendari, 2 Muhafez, and 1 who is a local paladin sworn to... Oh, please, I'm sliding through my notes. Local paladin sworn to Ashera.
I will make sure that the new mother is alerted to the fall of one of hers. She's had quite a handful since taking over. Her predecessor left a very positive reputation, and it's difficult to follow such a thing.
Yes. Well. Yes.
But more importantly, to you, I see no reason why you cannot restart your regular diet. I would not gorge myself to begin. Eat slowly and stop when you feel full. Give yourself a week or so to let the body adjust. It was shocked.
He nods at that in agreement. Like, it's that moment of, like, he knows better. He's been injured before. He's served in military combat before. He knows what not to do. And so he's like, yeah, I know. Really want to have the whole cake, but I'll limit myself to a slice. Kind of thing, yeah.
Yes, and it's not just because you were injured, it's also because you were dead for a minute. Well, not even, but you were still dead for a period of time. And the body adjusts to a new state of being and then has to readjust. So be kind to yourself. Speaking of, I don't really know enough about politics, but if I may interject, I think the annulment is a fair proposition based on what was witnessed. The enchantment magics and the curse laid upon the Duke. And by all evidence, connected to his new bride.
I agree. Don't usually get those orders and requests. That's usually a thing that goes through one of the churches, whichever one did the wedding.
True, I think that in this circumstance, with flimsy, well, I shouldn't say flimsy, I should say incomplete evidence, that they are looking for a higher power politically to force the hand of the church.
Well, I will send a document, a letter stating fraud and ensorcelment.
Yes. That seems like a very benevolent thing to do as one of the first acts as emperor, if I'm not being too forward.
Well, they haven't stuck a crown on my head yet, so
They wouldn't have sent you the letter if they didn't think you had the power.
no, they're just used to me running my father's courts anyways. That isn't a surprise here.
Fair enough. They recognize who gets things done. And that is a heavy crown in and of itself.
Do you have any other questions for Alexander?
No, mostly he's just trying to keep the positive rapport. It allows him to watch Varum a little more closely than he's been able to so far, and may give him access to the school of magic that he's never had previously in order to report back on things. So he doesn't want to squander that opportunity.
Could you roll me a charisma saving? We're just going to use this as
Sure.
measurement. I'm importing a small system. I mentioned this when we
I am
started.
not very charismatic.
No, but it's not a problem really. This was to see, what I was going to do here is I'm importing a modified Witcher reputation system. If you had succeeded, you would have added to your reputation with Varum. You didn't, so it doesn't go up, but it doesn't go down either. For this moment, you haven't lost anything at the moment. And Alexander personally likes you a lot. The role was for the wider reputation.
Gotcha.
Why
And
don't
then
we?
the last question as you fade to someone else would just be, do you wish that I stop in to check in on your sister or make my way to Yelena before I attend to these, as he's kind of like gestures with the papers?
We'll take care of that. I'll take care of it. Well, no, I'll send the Arnfin to go deal with Anlara. Maybe that will get him out of his own head.
Fair enough. Then I will take my leave.
He kind of has an opinion of, you're taking over all of this. I will trust you because you are the obvious professional. Much more than he is at the moment. But why don't we slide over to Malik and Bandabris, because that's a conversation I want to know about. You can make your way into the palace unchallenged. You both are well known. You're both guests here, and you know, Malik's a prince.
Yes. But it's crowds, so we're going to have to do things Unfortunately, good and proper. So going to find a page.
There are a few running around the halls and a couple that are stationed at various, important points. And one
I
right outside the door to the Imperial wing.
wing. I hate to trouble you, but I, Bandibus the Grey, Dean of Abjuration, wish to speak with Headmaster Krauss. It is a pressing matter of imperial importance.
They nod very quickly, and their eyes get very big. I mean, this is a young page, 12, maybe 13. Short cropped hair, standard uniform. They nod and bow, and then bow slightly deeper to Malik because they recognize Malik's rank. And then just kind of gesture for a moment and then walk inside briefly the Imperial wing. And by briefly, I mean it's less than 2 minutes before they're back. They come back and they open the door widely and like bow gesture you in. They don't say anything. They just
Thank you. Walk in, and then see if I can't find Krauss.
There is an open door 3/4 of the way down the hall. It's about 50 meters.
In. You might be taking a little back at your presence, Malik, but I think he'll actually see it as a sign of good faith. Means I won't yell quite as loud.
Feel free to yell as loud as you like.
Oh, I have a distinct suspicion this is going one of two ways. I'm going to be very even keeled or off the handle. There is no need. And as I darken the door for Headmaster Krauss.
This older human looks up at you immediately. They have this heavy fur-lined robe. You can see the tiredness in his eyes that are slightly sunken. There's a pallidness to him. Definitely someone with the bruising of someone who hasn't slept in perhaps much longer than is perhaps wise. He looks at you. Oh shit, you're actually calling me by my title. What's gone wrong? Aside from everything last night.
As it is with things that I put my hands to, this is far, far more trouble than first thing. I have some questions that need answers.
And he kind of then turns away from Bandibus and looks at Malik and how can I help you, Your Highness?
Oh, I'm just here for the show.
You mean for when we start yelling at each other and possibly he threatens to kill me?
Hopefully.
We haven't had a conversation that didn't end in that kind of entertainment in what? 15, 30 years?
15 years, 21 days, 7.
Have a seat. And he kind of gestures, and it's a small kind of modified sitting room that's been taken over, and he's kind of using it as an office. It's definitely not his own space. You can see where the things are kind of shuffled in piles that are very much like, I brought this pile in and I put it down, and I brought this pile in and I put it down. But and then what do you need? Your questions.
Why was anyone this plane of existence allowed to throw a party with that many important people and a mirror the length of a wall?
Because they didn't listen to me. And I wasn't there in charge of all of the party arrangements to be more forceful.
Who was in charge of the arrangements?
Ballot? No, the Imperial, the event planner, whatever the official title is. It's me.
I must ask because put that aside. You are unwell. It is obvious that the Emperor is unwell. What's going on?
We thought at first it was simple. Old age. It's progressed much more quickly and much more debilitating. It's not cursed. We had a couple of clerics in, removed a couple checked for that. Poison, checked for that.
What?
There we go.
There we go. It wasn't. We've had healers. He's been potioned all to 9 hells and back. It's odd, virulent. Well, not virulent. It's aggressive, debilitating, and he will likely die within the next 2 weeks.
Oh, what are the
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
how debilitating? What are the symptoms?
Well, now he is bedridden, but before he was forgetful, misplacements. He couldn't cast anything.
That is odd. Even old age usually doesn't rob us of even minor magics. Some of the higher stuff, yes, but not everything.
Hmm.
What do you know of a 7-pointed star?
Rumors of bands of ne'er-do-wells and half-point brigands robbing in the southern duchy.
There's more to that than we both know.
As far as I'm aware, that is everything I know. Why do you assume that I know more?
Those are sure.
Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, Bandbrus. Don't know everything and I've never claimed to.
Now I know you're on.
Can I insight check this guy?
Mm-hmm.
It's not showing up on roll 20, but that
No, it rolled a 16.
there we go.
Took a second, but there it is. He's stressed. He's upset. He's a little scatter-minded, but you can't tell. It seems mostly that that's from like either stress or lack of sleep. He's very concerned about the Emperor, and he is not a fan of Bandibus.
The old Hugh would have already started dealing. Also, you would have had more of a hand in the planning and would have been denied. You have tried everything, haven't you? You're still looking.
Malik, when Bandabris says that, we're going to use your passive insight here, which I have down here.
Okay.
He has tried everything, and he's been tempted to try something that's not advisable.
Okay.
But he hasn't done it yet.
I don't think he's tried everything.
There were some things that we did. Not even for those with them. That is said with a tone that is, give me the excuse and I would kill you personally.
He doesn't say anything. Malik,
Mm-hmm.
a tinkling little laugh in the back ear. No one else can hear. Back to it.
Is there any way that I can just like confer without
You can try.
alerting anyone? Okay. I would like to just like try and think to see what
Mhm.
it is that this thing is trying to get my attention for.
Roll Arcana.
Okay.
Ooh, 17 is very good. You feel this moment of connection lock on. Like a two-way radio when you kind of picked up finally. When a contract is due, contract is due.
With whom?
That would be very confidential. I'm sure you could figure out who he may. Looks like Kraus will be leaving soon.
How soon?
Oh, I'd say about 2 weeks.
All right. I'll in the real world. Now,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'll put a hand on Vanderburst's shoulder and get up and go over to Krause's desk. Be like, "What else did you try, old man? There's something you're not telling us."
Are you being intimidating or persuasion?
I
I
think
feel like intimidation.
Intimidation, yeah.
And I think I will give you advantage because Bandabris is, but you didn't really need it with a 31. He looks away at that. He goes, nothing this time.
This time. So that means there was a last time.
And he sighs heavily and then kind of looks around the room and with a gesture, the mage hand appears and slams the door shut. You see a bunch of sigils kind of appear on the door. You don't even need a roll. He warded this room before he came in, and the act of shutting the door seals the ward.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of swallows for a moment, takes a deep breath. A deal was struck.
That much is obvious. With who?
I'm not 100% sure. Sicarius arranged for it at... Everyone believes that Sicarius was out of town when Goethe died, and technically that's true. He was outside of Visava. And so was she. They were both going to die, as was Ornora. Their agreement was struck at the time. To save Sicarius and Ornora.
And you're trying to tell me that you have no idea who you struck a deal with?
I wasn't the one who made a deal.
Who did?
Sicarius.
And how did you get roped into it?
Witness and binder. There's a laugh that you hear in the back of your mind, and an agreement that he's telling you the truth.
So what now? Now someone's coming to collect?
Honora turns 24 in 3 days.
Was that the promise made?
To see her grown and safe. 24, no one can call her a child anymore. Is that not right, Vanderbrus?
I would have expected more from the both of you. Such cold-blooded.
To be fair, Sicarius was bleeding it out, and I was mostly half dead at the time.
Who else knows? Not even the girl.
No. It was an ambush, an attempt to murder both the Emperor and the Empress. Fine. Assassins. Sicarius dealt with them at the time.
Where?
North of Offerentor was a road.
Foolishness has brought illness to his land. It has cast a shadow that dates back to the cataclysm.
Can't blame the sundering on me, Bandbrush. There are a lot of things I'm responsible for, but I wasn't alive 2,000 years ago, unless you'd like to take that into consideration and add time travel to my skills now, too.
I can blame you for the second one that's coming. The seven-pointed star. They're tied to all of this. 21 missing, 7 dead.
You don't know that yet.
Well, 21 missing. A chain of 14 oaths.
Bandbrush, many times I would love to be the center of attention that you seem to think that I am. But I am way too busy running a school, teaching, ensuring that there hasn't been another major cataclysmic magical event in this god-forsaken palace to have any ability to be this focal point of magical power that you seem to think I am.
No, you are a focal point of magical power that is aimed poorly.
Says the man who calls himself the Grey. Can't you find something better?
He's not the one making deals with demons.
Neither did I, and it wasn't a demon.
No, demons will have collected soon. It's only by the grace of law that you've been given such time. And now I have to go and find out what Sicarius, now in an adult state, made a deal with. Because I have a very stinking suspicion now. But it wasn't 13 I was dealing with. It was 14. And I missed.
So, we're going to pull away from that moment and slide over to Theo and Tibian. Well, Theo, because you're talking to Agnar. You can find Agnar in the courtyard, drilling the guards, taking control, trying to create some order from chaos. He will look up when you, as you start walking through, you draw attention.
This is a bad time.
Are you about to tell me that there are more people dead?
No, but I do have a matter that would like to discuss.
In here, and he'll pull you into one of like the guard shack, rooms right off the courtyard. So thank you for helping save my brother's life. Thank you for helping not get so many people killed. What do you need?
How is everything getting? Figuring out what happened. Do we have any more idea what's happening?
Well, it's been a really shitty kind of day. We found out that 21 people are missing, and we've got 7, well, I'm assuming 7. We've accounted for most of 7 bodies. Well, the armor and the helmets thereof. So I'm assuming that's what. Not tied to the 21 missing, you'd understand. It's a bit fun. I'm betting Cortel is about to declare war. It's gonna be great. How's your day going?
Fortunately, not much better. Matters could be more dire than any incident with Cortel. A few of the people that assisted in the saving the life of your brother and making sure this was not a more disastrous incident have been making inquiries. Do you know who sent the guest list? Who's organized this?
Yes, it was the secretary, well, Dismar.
And do you know where they are?
Assuming my father's study, he's taking control of all of the paperwork, even though it's Alexander doing most of the work these days, but he's the party planner. He takes his duties very seriously.
Well, it's certainly, from what we discovered, an area of concern whether or not the people that were brought here were no accident. Concerning also the 21. This is a far, far greater problem than any war. And she'll use minor illusion to bring up the 7-pointed star.
Yes,
Any idea what this is?
we've seen it a lot recently on the bandit troops. Some along the border with Novigrad and some in Oferento. The more and more harrying the Imperials and the population.
Well, it may be more than that.
I'm assuming since you're telling me.
Well, people associated more with them could be did this to your brother. And we have discovered that it might be on the level of a cataclysm effect.
Well, isn't that just
Yes,
peachy?
yes. Go looking for things you find unfortunate answers. But this has far-reaching than anything with your brother, and I need to talk to that person, talk to the secretary immediately.
Yeah, and he will grab a piece of paper from this guard station and write a quick note. That'll get you inside the Imperial wing. They will talk to you because of that.
Thank you so much.
Hmm.
If I may request one more thing, considering the severity of what we're trying to stop, you've met most of the people. Vivian Brandbris. It would go a long way in us finding out, dealing with this, if we had the blessing of you and the family.
You'd have to talk to Alexander, but I'm okay with it.
Yes.
He's making all the rules.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
We will find out what happened to this and who did this here. Promise.
I believe you. Such a shame. And he kind of looks around. He goes, "Well, it's going to be a great party."
Would have loved to see it conclude in its proper fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly wouldn't be up at this moment if it was that way.
We're just going to take one quick moment for Tibian. You were informing Enoch and Henning of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to find them. They're, well, hanging out with some... They're hanging out with Han and Chewie.
I go up to them. I'm like, Han, Chewie. It's nice to see you both made it out of there alive.
Yeah! Almost didn't, but you know, I've had worse. There's a new healing cut across his shoulder and into... It's mostly healed over. It's looking like it's just a scar. Good to see you're doing all right then. No, not exactly. Could have definitely been worse, but you know, who doesn't love a good murder at a party?
You know, it brought a little bit of spice to the evening. Although I would have liked an after party. I was a little sad there still wasn't one.
So apparently, it was an after party that we wasn't invited to. All this kidnapping shit going on.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Ooh,
to say the least.
And he'll kind of like put an arm around your shoulder and like kind of nod his head away from Henning and Enoch for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And Chewie will take that moment to kind of like move himself to engage Henning and Enoch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know how I like to keep myself aware of what's important wherever I am, right?
Yes.
So, you would be surprised that I pay attention to information and, achieve and get that information whenever possible?
So where are you going with this, Chewie? I'm not Chewie, Han.
I may have heard something.
Like?
Like, and he'll kind of lean in real close to make sure that you aren't overheard. They found the pieces of 7 dead bodies. 4 of them were Zendari.
And I'm assuming by the demeanor of my friends that it wasn't Pilter found.
No. All of the people found were paladins. Helms, breastplates. No limbs.
That is horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you know anything about a 7-pointed star?
Yeah. There's some asshole in Jihadin who's been kind of muscling in, attempting to use that as a symbol. Also, perhaps some really weird oath takings about the star might have 7 points now, but it's soon it will have none. Some bullshit like that. They're fanatical. And they're trying to take my money. I don't like either of those two things.
Oh, well, soon they're going to be trying to take our land. It appears that these fanatics are a little bit more of an issue than that. We think that they're trying to bring another cataclysm, that they're working with the evil gods, the old sorcerers.
You know? And he kind of looks up and he does one of those. I was having such a good day. I was having a good day. And now these motherfuckers are gonna screw with that. Look, you can't make money if the world ends.
You can't have fun without if the world ends either. That's what I'm saying.
This is the thing. Why do these people never get this? At least honest criminals understand you don't kill the moneymaker.
Exactly. You know, just a small time. Magic users always wanting more and more and more.
I feel mildly insulted by that, but only a little bit.
You know, that's how I was hoping you take it. But we're finding out that the 7 paladins are dead and the other 21 were clerics. Now, I'm not a diviner or anything of the sort, but that doesn't sound good to me.
No, that gives me all the heebie-jeebies in the world. Chewie and I are going home. We are not staying in this city. And if you got people that you want to ensure get there safely, I will get them there safely. For
I
free,
appreciate
even.
Oh. Now that's how I know it's serious. Oh boy. Well, if you find out anything more,
You'll be my second contact.
I appreciate it.
Mm.
And I'll let you know if anything worrisome is heard about your area.
Mm. He reaches out a hand to shake yours.
Mm-hmm. And I go moving my sleeve back to make sure
Mhm.
there's nothing
Yeah.
to be seen.
Yeah.
And I go to shake it.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of leans in as he does, like he does one of those shake your hand and then leans in to do a hug, just as if you've just been talking. He goes, I also may have heard that there was possibly some individuals who were looking for certain people that you're hanging out with.
Which one?
Tall folk. But they didn't say which one.
All right.
I should also let you know that the number involved in those people who are looking for your associates is hitting 6 figures.
Damn.
So,
What
and
the
he kind of
fuck
like,
do they do?
he kind of shakes your hand and like gives you a hug and then steps back and goes, Hey, Chewie! We're gonna start packing up. There's some crazy ass shit and you don't want to be in this country when they lock it down after Cortel invades.
I give Chewie my regards.
He kind of nods and like pats you on the shoulder, and he's really careful, right? And just a little teeny bit too much, but not like actually too.
Mm-hmm. I give him a pat on the hand, and I'll turn over and look at Henning and the other one,
Enoch.
Enoch. um, and I'm like, well, this has been one hell of a experience. And I look at both of them. And I'm like, I am gonna be staying, and I would suggest that you to go back with Han and Chewie, and then take a boat to Sakal.
When you say that, Henning just puts their hand out in front of Enoch and raises an eyebrow. And she like looks at you and curses and then drops 5 gold in his palm. Is like, in their palm. It's like, Thank you very much. I appreciate doing business with you. Have fun on your adventure, Tibian. Promise not. We'll go home with Han.
And I'll get a little closer to them, as if we were gonna do like a group hug.
Yeah.
And I say, this is bad. It is very bad. Like a second cataclysm bad. I'm concerned about the frequency of these monstrosities. I know we have construction and things like that, but maybe try and get a little bit more of a presence up there on the coast. Help the people of the coastal towns and stay safe.
They both nod at that and will make their way towards packing up and say that they will ensure that before they kind of break the huddle, they'll say that they'll ensure that everyone's prepared at home.
And then I clap them both on the back and I say, well, have a safe trip. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of fun. And I look at the one who bet against me and I'm like, you should know better than to bet against me.
Don't have too much fun, huh? The last time you had too much fun, we had to pay damages to 3 different brothels.
Look, it was a misunderstanding, and we all know it. But I'll bring back Pilter on my way. I'm sure he won't let anything too bad happen to me.
And Enoch at that kind of nods and goes, she says, I can trust Pilter. You're right. All right, we'll see you at home and ensure that nothing goes wrong. And you're just doing this to get out of meetings, aren't you?
Have fun in Sakal. I wish you the best.
They sigh. And with that, we're going to end for tonight. I'm sorry we went over a little bit, but I wanted to give everyone that moment to see where things were. We're sorry we lost Jay, but I'm glad everyone was here. Lots of things were discussed. Lots of things were found out. Even more questions were thrown in. I love doing this. How we all doing? We feeling all right? We feeling okay?
Yeah.
I love making Pope do that face.
Everything's great. It's all coming together.
At least a little bit. But we're gonna go around, let everyone say where you can be found, share some love, something you enjoyed about tonight. And then players, don't forget you can drop links in chat. And I'll go last. So why don't we go in the reverse order and we start with Chris. Hey Chris, how you doing?
Hey.
How's life going?
I'm doing fine. Life is good. Javi, really like enjoyed kind of like the collaborative spirit at the table. That was really cool at the Yellow Dragon. So um that was a neat kind of aspect of what was going on. And you can find me on Twitter at Chris Geary. You can find me here on Saturday evenings. And yeah, I will see you all around the interwebs.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. I can't wait to find out how Javi is doing. And oh, I guess I should ask this question. I'm going to ask this question of everyone. What's the over/under on our good Lord Iago declaring war on Varum?
Over under. I'm gonna just lean into my character, and Javi's not a betting person.
Oh, that's fair.
But due to all of the changes that seem to be some sort of confluence, the transitions and such, he would not be surprised if Lord Iago decided to make such a move.
So, Lynn, how you doing? How you feeling?
Doing good. Oh, I love that. I love the intrigue. I love everyone kind of like the ability to have like split off and kind of like take their own like little piece of like what's going on. Oh, it's so fun. But yeah, there's a lot of awful things happening around us. And Theo is more or less just kind of like, yep, this is still like little like emotionally untethered. Like, okay, we're still this is still, fun thing so far.
Yeah, still a fun thing so far.
So far, it's a great reason to go on, make an adventuring part and go on this thing. It's like fun time. Yeah, I'm Lynn, Gremlin Art. You can find my art there on Twitter, Instagram, every place else. You can see what I'm doing through a week, including on what is happening? Oh yeah, on Thursday on the amphitheater, it is our bi-monthly campaign of Blaze in the Dark, where we're gonna get some revenge on some people that did my character wrong. It should be interesting now because now they are a vampire, and I don't think that's public knowledge yet. So that should be interesting how that's gonna come up. And on Fridays on kind of gaming's YouTube, we just had our first episode of Bleeding Kansas, our V5 vampire game, where we have decided to jump in the deep end and start a war between anarchs and the Camarilla and try and gain our own sliver of power. That nothing can go wrong. Absolutely nothing. And yeah, on Saturdays you can find it for Scion, where we're gonna not be back next week on 1 because we're gonna get to demigod because we survived a fight. Only got mildly hurt, got hit by a meteor. That's fine. Lived. But yeah, we succeeded, and be powerful next time you see us.
I'm looking forward to it, and you should all check that out. Then the other part of Team Fun. Hey PB, how you doing? Oh, I forgot to ask Lynn, what's the over/under on Hortel invading Varum? Or declaring war on Varum, I should say.
I would say 2-1, just because everything's coming out so badly close to home. So why not? Why not have Cortel? And you know what? They're probably itching for any reason to gain control over like what is apparently like some real bad magic, and the fact that everyone can't manage their own shit is probably not doing them any favors. So probably gonna happen.
All right. PB, hey, how you doing? How's life going?
Hi, Hi. I'm doing well. I'm excited. I'm very interested. So much is going on. And I loved just uh all of our small little interactions with each other. It was really nice and fun to see us finally all like be not fightery us and not like under extreme duress, but rather just like kind of shooting the shit before we got into all the heavy stuff. So I like that from all of us on the at the table. Um and I for just the if Lord Iago's gonna declare some shit with Varum, um I like Kai's 5-3. Because here's I think Lord Iago would love to, but if there's some other shit going on between him and Varum, I think he might go for that first. So he might declare it, but like I don't know if he'll actually go to war. You know how that goes. But I'm PB. You can find me at PB Plays on the Side on Twitter and Twitch.tv. You could also find me over on Twitch.tv/NellyLine on Wednesdays playing or not playing, but doing a book podcast where right now we're going through the Twilight Saga. We just started with Twilight because my friend Nilly has never read it and I want to send her memes. So we're reading it together and we're literally just getting started. We're, I think, on starting chapter 7, I think, for next week. And if you want to catch up with us there, you could also follow us on YouTube at the Nilly and PB podcast. Aside from that, you can catch me on my own channel at the beginning of the week in the evenings playing a lot of games. For the most part, right now, my main game is Destiny 2. So if that's your vibe, feel free to drop by and hang out. But that is me.
Yep, I also firmly recommend dropping by and hanging out with PB. It's a great evening and time. Very chill. Very, very chill. And jumping up to Bandabris. Hey Pope, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Bandabris is having an incredibly rough time
Mm-hmm.
of all of it. Things were great, and then he had to go and speak to crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, yeah. Uh, this group is absolutely amazing. I love all the like PB put perfectly these away from the chaos bits were nice to see these characters come through, but also like we got to see some of what like the social sort of powerhouse stuff from everybody. And some just incredibly potent character moments between whatever that reveal slash non-reveal is with Thorn and the damn mirrored shield. Like, okay. Um, Theo's talk with Agnar, um, Javi's, or like, while chill, also politically savvy conversation with Alexander, like Javi playing the long game. Tibian being Tibian, reassuring friends, but at the same time, just like I'm also getting out of being tied to a desk. Um, so things are bad, but it's all coming up Tibian. Um, and then just Malik in that moment going from the back seat to the very fore and pushing through, and possibly the smartest thing that Bandabris has done since he's been here was bring Malik along. Because I am certain that admission would have never have happened otherwise. 100% sure. So Team Grumpy for the win. And no, I adore this crew. As for Quartel invading, 2-1 odds if Ariana's still alive. 5-3 odds if she's dead. 5-4 odds if she's dead and Varum is to blame for. So there's your spread. And as where you can find me in this ridiculous face, well, Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch, I work in all your streams. Tomorrow is a double feature. First starting off at 2 p.m. Eastern over on Balrog 1911. Yeah, Brink with Blood Tyrants. Plan B may become Plan A, and Plan A may not go well. There's a lot of vampires in that villa guarding the crown, and our rabble rouser Soot has gotten a far larger rabble than we were considering, and they're going to storm the palace. There's a lot of questions. You're gonna want to tune in. And then tomorrow night begins or continues me following Prax around like a pug puppy. As we're back with more Witcher Roads Home. Amazing crew there as well. They're in Mahakam. We should have a Billy, which makes me super excited because that's just needs to happen. The dwarves need to meet. And you need to tune in just for Trooper's character. I'm serious. You need to see this absolutely random world disaster. It is breathtaking. And then on Monday, over on Wandering DM, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're more vampires. You have lots of vampires going around. It's a thing this season. As we're on in Montreal by night, and someone's probably going to die. It's going to be very messy. And the cover up, I don't know if it's going to work. So and it's not the professional hit woman's fault at all. At all. And then on Wednesdays, back here, 9 p.m. Eastern for the long retreat. We got to where we were going, and now there's going to be artillery. There is going to be fighting in the streets. There's going to be parlaying with an enemy in the civil war is going on, and there's a giant necromantic army headed to wipe out all the living. It's a time. So you're going to want to tune in for that. And then please be back here on Saturday for this amazing crew and seeing more of this incredibly intricate story that Prax is weaving together, and we're just following the threads. So thank you all so much for being here. We're a live VOD YouTube historian. It's nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. There are too many hashtags to go around for this episode. Honestly, hashtag meat puzzle solved. I think is the best one. If you're going to do that in the YouTube, I'd love to see it. And take care of yourselves and one another, and follow these wonderful people, because if there's one thing I've learned in the past couple of years, you need good people in your life. These are all good people. See you around.
Well then, last but never ever least here. Hi Hannah, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm concerned, but it's a good concern. I'm looking forward to what's happening next sort of concern. So, and I very much enjoyed tonight's very lore heavy episode. I loved all the research that everybody was doing and all the like deep lore and mysteries and different intricacies that we were finding out. Like there were so many mysteries that we learned about, just adding on to the mysteries that we had before. All these new things, the 14 daisy chain curses, the 7 people dead, the 21, people missing. It all means something. We don't know what, but it means something. So that was really fun. That was a lot of fun. Of course, all the role play was so cool, and can't wait until next week till we get to do more of that. Trapped in a room with Banderbus's mentor or whatever is going to be so much fun.
Rival.
Oh,
Rival.
even better. So I'm Hannah, and you can find me on Twitter at Hanimation Art and on Instagram and Facebook at Hanimation Studios, or you can find the fun stuff that I peddle over at hanimation.shop. And otherwise, you can find me on Thursday nights on the Wandering DM channel. Yeah, there's one of them. There's Caden. You can find me at Wandering DM at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays for some Hill County horror. Things are getting super spooky over there, so I would recommend tuning in if you like to have your pants scared off, because you'll be pro scare sans pants. And then you can find me Saturday 1 p.m. Eastern on Wandering DM for Scion with Lynn. I am immune to chaos, so I had nothing to worry about, but we're all going to be demigods soon, so that's something for everybody else to worry about, because if you think I'm obnoxious now, you have no idea what's coming. And then, of course, back here at 8 p.m. Eastern for some more of this awesome game. Cannot wait. Thank you so much for having me, Prax. It was a lot of fun.
Always, always. And the over-under on Cortel invading.
Oh, I don't know anything about the over-under, but Malik hopes it happens, because, you know, nothing makes for a better ballad than other people suffering.
That's fair. That is entirely fair and valid. Other people's suffering does indeed make for a great ballad. But as for me, hi all, you know me, I'm at Dirgedolan on Twitter, Praxagorth as me 4 see me around here on Twitch. Unfortunately, we lost Jay, but you can go follow Jay on Tall Squall on Twitter, and he'll be back on next Saturday. Also, you know, all the drama, all the good things, it'll be great. As for me, I loved all of those little moments of you guys chatting and building your personalities. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. And interactions. I loved the moment when Tibian is grabbing Bandibris by the wrist and pulling him bodily through the palace, and I just like that little scene. I liked Javi who's like, okay, I was thinking that I was gonna have to do a little bit, but you're already, all right, we're gonna just go with it. We're gonna go with it. Everything was great. I loved Malik's 31 intimidation. Yeah, none of that would have come out without Malik. Bandibris would have had a much higher DC to beat in general because he hates you. Kinda soak some of that. Use some of those disposition things. I loved Theo being like, so this is gonna be fun, it'll be great, we're gonna relax, it'll be a vacation. No, it's not gonna be a vacation. It's gonna be a horrible, horrible mess, and we're gonna have to deal with it. But it'll be great. As for me, thank you again for being here. Thank you all of my wonderful players. I also loved all Jay's wonderful little moments when his hands started burning. That was beautiful. I know what that means, and Jay knows what that means, but no one else does. Ha. Cackle. But, hey all, we have a YouTube. If you haven't seen it out, thank you for that follow. If you've liked hanging out here with us tonight and you want to check out the VODs and miss something, anything else, there's the YouTube. It has all of the VODs. Except for last week's and a couple weeks of Zweihander that I need to update, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then we are going to be back here. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Thank you for being here. We will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for episode 2 of season 4 of Witcher Roads Home. And I would like to point out, when I say that Hannah does beautiful, beautiful art, it's not just because, you know, you can get her normal art. It's because she does fabulous, wonderful did the fabulous, wonderful character designs for, is it always on the bottom, for Witcher Roads Home, including the character that's not currently appearing in this season because Cadarn is somewhere trying to figure out what he's going to do without a leg. It was his own problem. He went through a portal. But we are in Mahakam. Things are getting entertaining. Things are going to be great. And Trooper brought a new character, which is always wonderful and always going to be a good thing. Maybe. Then Monday I will be over with Pope on Wandering DM, and I would like to point out, I would like to say this phrase. This is an important phrase, and you should all appreciate this phrase. I, the Ravnos, who has come to the city to get paid to do a murder, is not the one who's going to kill someone tomorrow on Monday. I am the restrained person. The Ravnos who's come to do a murder is the restrained person. I would like to put that out. Thank you very much. Then back here Wednesday for episode 10 of Zweihander, The Long Retreat. Well, we finished the retreat, and now we have to fight the battle with the horde of necromantic undead and a bunch of people. But Nethra Fusefire, my wonderful dwarf artillerist, is definitely of the opinion that, hey, I shot that bitch in the face once and murdered her. We can totally do that again, right? And Sigmar really loves Gisela, so we just get Gisela to, like, do the holy water blessy thingy on all the weapons, and then we do a whole lot of murder. Well, not murder. Killing. Because it's not murder if you're fighting a pitched battle. It's just killing. But I thank you all for being here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all of my players. Thank you, everybody in chat. I appreciate each and every one of you. We should, however, send some love out into the universe, and going to see who we can send some love to. Why don't we send, oh, Ananaris is up. We'll go send some, let's go raid Ananaris. But until next time, everybody, have fun.